Steph has talked about kind of taking some pressure off you with Ari kind of running point in some actions and you playing off the ball. Just how do you think that will help when you reintegrate on too?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be nice probably not to have to bring the ball up against pressure 94 feet, but like I said, like, that's what I'm best at, so we're still gonna do a lot of that.
Steph White said it like it was nothing, just a casual shift in strategy, a little off-ball movement to ease the pressure on Caitlin Clark. Sounds harmless, right? Just a coach managing minutes, tweaking rotations, but listen closer. That wasn't just about basketball. That was a veiled announcement of a power shift, a quiet signal that something much bigger is happening behind the scenes. Because when Caitlin responded, she didn't dodge it, she didn't deflect. She delivered a calm, cutting line that's now sending shockwaves across the WNBA. This wasn't strategy talk, it was the first crack in a carefully polished mask. And it revealed a brutal truth. The Indiana Fever are in chaos. Not the kind you see in the standings, the kind buried deep inside the locker room. What we're about to uncover isn't theory, and it's not gossip. It's a full-on internal civil war. Multiple insiders are blowing the whistle, passes being intentionally withheld, coaches subtly sidelining their franchise star, a veteran player vanishing without warning. And all of it points to one conclusion: Caitlin Clark is being frozen out by her own team. The question is why? And once you understand the real reason, you'll see this isn't just a betrayal, it's the most dangerous gamble in WNBA history. Because if the Fever lose her, they don't just lose a player, they lose the league's future. And Caitlin Clark, she just made her first move. To understand what's really going on inside the Indiana Fever locker room, you have to go beyond the post-game interviews and box scores, because what's happening isn't showing up in the stats, it's showing up in the silences, in the missed passes, the empty cuts, and the chemistry that just isn't there. Multiple sources close to the team are sounding the alarm, and they're all saying the same thing. There's real tension boiling behind the scenes. We're not talking about minor disagreements or growing pains, we're talking about deliberate actions, calculated choices by certain players to isolate Caitlin Clark on the court, refusing to pass her the ball, running plays that exclude her, moments when she's wide open and simply ignored. And if you've been watching the games closely, none of this should surprise you, because fans have been calling it out for weeks, video after video breaking down clips where Clark gives up the ball, runs to get it back, and never sees it again. Instead, you watch her teammates force up contested shots or turn the ball over, while one of the best playmakers in basketball stands on the perimeter, hands up, waiting. This isn't miscommunication. This isn't inexperience. This is a pattern. And now we know it's not accidental. The footage was the smoke. These insider reports, that's the fire. And if you think that sounds extreme, wait until you hear what happened next, because the first real consequence of this broken dynamic wasn't a loss on the court. It was the sudden and shocking disappearance of a key veteran who was supposed to bring leadership, experience, and calm to this young roster. And she didn't just leave, she ran. When the Indiana Fever signed veteran guard Erica Wheeler, they weren't just adding depth, they were bringing in a former all-star, a respected leader, someone who'd seen it all and was supposed to guide this young, high-pressure roster through the chaos of a media storm and a rookie phenom spotlight. But just 9 games into the season, she was gone. No farewell press conference, no emotional goodbye post. Just a quiet, vague statement from the team that the fit wasn't right. And if you know sports, you know that phrase is always a smokescreen. Because players like Erica don't walk away from a golden opportunity unless something is seriously broken behind the scenes. You don't leave a team with Caitlin Clark unless what you're seeing in the locker room is toxic enough to make you quit. Think about it, this was supposed to be the most exciting rookie year in WNBA history. National television games, packed arenas, record-breaking ratings. Any veteran would want to ride that wave, to mentor the next generational star. But instead, she left, and the silence around her exit was deafening. No teammates posted tributes, no coaches praised her professionalism, just a sudden disappearance like she was never there. That's not just unusual, it's suspicious. And it tells us one thing loud and clear. This locker room isn't united, it's fractured. And when respected veterans start bailing mid-season, it's not because of bad basketball, it's because of bad blood. But where does that toxicity come from? That's the part most people are missing. Because this mess didn't start with the players. It started at the very top with a press conference that seemed harmless at first, but has now aged like poison. When Fever president Kelly Krauskopf stepped up to the mic earlier this year, nobody expected her words to become the foundation for controversy. It was just supposed to be a corporate message, future plans, team goals, big picture branding talk. But buried in her carefully rehearsed sound bites was a single idea that cracked open the core of this franchise. The Fever weren't building around a player, they were building around a brand. And not just any brand. She compared it to Apple. Think about that. While fans were hoping for a dynasty built around Caitlin Clark, Krauskopf was talking about logos, products, image. She wasn't focused on empowering a generational talent, she was focused on selling a team-first narrative, one that elevates the system over the superstar. And that mindset, it trickled down. Because when the front office starts treating the team like a tech company, it stops treating its players like people. And when you de-emphasize the one player who's transforming your franchise overnight, you give everyone else, the coaches, the veterans, the bench warmers, permission to think, she's not above the team. That mindset sounds noble, but in a locker room already tense with ego, hierarchy, and national attention, it's gasoline on a fire. The subtle message from the top was clear. No one is bigger than the Fever, not even Caitlin Clark. And once that idea took root, it didn't matter how good she was. It didn't matter if she led in assists, played 40 minutes, or set ratings records. The damage was done. The blueprint for the freeze-out was drawn by the very people who were supposed to protect her. But here's where it gets even worse. A blueprint means nothing without someone willing to carry it out. And that's exactly what happened when the front office handed the keys to a coach who doesn't believe in building around stars. Enter Stephanie White, the head coach, brought in to usher in this so-called new era for the Indiana Fever. On paper, she looked like the perfect choice. Experienced, respected, a proven leader. But behind the clipboard is a philosophy that quietly clashes with everything Caitlin Clark represents. Don't take my word for it, just listen to her own commentary before she even joined the Fever. When analyzing the Dallas Mavericks, she practically lit up, describing how the team played when Luka Doncic, of the most ball-dominant stars in the NBA, was off the court. She praised the ball movement, the shared touches, the team-first style. She called it fun, fast-paced, beautiful. But here's the issue. Caitlin Clark is the Luka of the WNBA. She thrives with the ball in her hands, dictating tempo, orchestrating plays, pulling defenders 30 feet from the basket. That's who she is. That's why she broke records. That's why millions of fans tune in just to watch her move. And yet, the coach chosen to lead her team is someone who celebrates systems that spread the ball evenly, limit star touches, and emphasize group identity over individual brilliance. It's not malicious. It's not personal. But it's a catastrophic mismatch. You don't hire a coach who believes in democracy when you've got a queen on the board. And if you think that's just philosophical, look at the plays. Look at the spacing. Look at how often Caitlin is asked to give up the ball and become a decoy in sets built for players who couldn't carry her sneakers. This isn't about teamwork, it's about system control. And the system being run right now isn't designed to elevate Caitlin Clark, it's designed to contain her. The question is, was this intentional? Or is it a coaching blind spot so big it could cost the Fever everything? This conflict between star power and system loyalty has created the perfect storm inside Indiana now. It's showing up in the most dangerous place possible, the gameplay itself. Because what started as subtle tension is now visible for the world to see. Clips are going viral every single night. Caitlin Clark calling for the ball on a fast break and getting ignored, making a perfect cut off a screen only to be overlooked, spacing the floor like a professional decoy while her teammates force up low percentage shots. And while some call it rookie hazing or growing pains, let's be real, this isn't basketball strategy, it's basketball politics. Every missed pass is a message. Every snub is a silent declaration. This is not your team, not yet. And what makes it worse is that the media isn't connecting the dots. They see the box scores, they ask about turnovers, they wonder why the offense looks clunky, why the spacing breaks down, why Caitlin's usage rate isn't through the roof. But the real answer isn't tactical, it's cultural. She's not being coached to fail. She's being tolerated, managed, diluted, while the franchise tries to balance two identities, the brand built around her and the team trying not to revolve around her. And stuck in the middle is a 22-year-old superstar who came here to elevate the game, only to find herself sidelined by internal politics disguised as play calling. This isn't just inefficient, it's humiliating. And every time she's iced out, every time a teammate looks her off, the message is reinforced. We're not ready to hand you the keys. But what happens when the fans already did? Because make no mistake, Caitlin Clark didn't just show up to the WNBA, she detonated it. She didn't just bring fans, she brought a tidal wave, sellouts in every city, television ratings that beat NHL and MLB broadcasts, jersey sales off the charts, Google searches that dwarf the rest of the league combined. She's not a player, he's a movement. And fans aren't confused about where their loyalty lies. They aren't wearing Indiana Fever shirts, they're wearing Caitlin Clark shirts. They're not chanting, "Let's go Fever," they're chanting MVP when she touches the ball. And that's the part the front office seems to be ignoring at their own risk. Because if this situation continues, if the coaching staff keeps trying to turn her into just another piece in a motion offense, and if the locker room refuses to rally around her as the undeniable face of the franchise, they're not just risking chemistry, they're risking everything. This isn't about one season. It's about a generational opportunity that leagues dream of. You don't get players like this twice. And if the Fever fumble this moment, if they let internal egos, outdated systems, or pride override common sense, then it's not just Caitlin Clark who leaves, it's the whole future of this franchise. Because when her rookie deal ends in 2027 and she becomes a free agent, every single team in the league will come calling. And fans? They'll follow her wherever she goes. That's not a threat. That's a fact. And now we circle back to the moment that started it. All the quote, the interview, the calm but chilling response that most people missed. Caitlin Clark was asked how she felt about playing off the ball while another teammate ran point. A simple, tactical question. But her answer wasn't just thoughtful, it was surgical. She smiled, nodded, and said, "Yeah, I mean, it'll be nice probably not to have to bring the ball up against pressure 94 feet. But like I said, that's what I'm best at." So we're still going to do a lot of that. Read that again. That wasn't a rookie agreeing with her coach. That was a superstar setting the record straight. That's what I'm best at. Not a suggestion, not a debate. It was a line in the sand. She acknowledged the plan, then calmly, professionally shut it down. That one sentence did what no press release, no post-game speech, no viral tweet could ever do it, exposed the tension, challenged the strategy, and reminded everyone who the gravitational force of this franchise really is. In just a few words, she rejected the freeze-out, corrected the system, and sent a warning to everyone watching. I'm not backing down, and I'm not disappearing. And in doing so, she flipped the power dynamic back in her favor, without raising her voice, without drama, without breaking a sweat. That's not just leadership, that's chess. And now, the Fever have a choice to make double down on a system that sidelines their superstar or wake up before the storm becomes irreversible. Because what happens next isn't just about basketball, it's about legacy, about leadership, about whether the Indiana Fever will protect the gift they've been handed or let it slip through their fingers. Caitlin Clark has already made her move. She's staying professional, staying composed, but the message is out there. She won't be minimized and she won't be molded into something she's not. And the fans? They've made their stance even louder. Every ignored pass sparks another viral clip. Every awkward timeout, another thread unraveling on social media. Every game that ends with Clark held back by her own team pushes the narrative further, and the public is watching. Sponsors are watching. The league is watching. And if the Fever think they can ride her name for marketing while limiting her impact on the court, they've misunderstood everything. This isn't about controlling the spotlight, it's about earning it. Because Caitlin Clark is the spotlight. And if they don't course correct, soon if the front office clings to branding language and the coach clings to system-first basketball, while teammates continue freezing her out, then the WNBA's most powerful asset could walk. And when she does, the seats go empty, the cameras turn off, and the Fever vanish back into obscurity like they were never there. The countdown has already begun. Every game from here on out is a test. Not for Caitlin Clark, she's past hers. This test is for the Indiana Fever. And if they fail, history won't be kind. Because nobody forgets the team that lost the future of the league on purpose. This was never just about minutes, or play calling, or growing pains. This was about power, about control, About whether a franchise was ready to embrace the once-in-a-generation talent it was handed, or whether pride, politics, and outdated systems would choke it out before it could even take flight. Caitlin Clark didn't ask for this war, but she's clearly prepared to fight it with her game, with her presence, and with her voice, even if it's wrapped in calm, professional answers. The Fever are on the clock, their fans are already choosing sides. The media is waking up, and the rest of the league is quietly preparing for a future where Indiana lets their crown jewel slip away. Because if they don't change course, if they don't fix the culture, fix the offense, and fix the fractured locker room, they won't just lose games, they'll lose everything. The trust, the fans, the money, the moment. This isn't just a WNBA storyline, it's a warning. You don't muzzle the sun and expect the world to keep spinning. And if Indiana doesn't realize that soon, Caitlin Clark will rise somewhere else.